As I was thinking about putting together this dish, it's summertime. It's good all year round, but especially for summertime, it's great. We have a supersized zucchini. You don't have to have a supersized zucchini like this from a local farmer's market, but at least 2 to 3 small to medium-sized zucchinis. We're gonna make a rice dish. This is like a zucchini and rice dish. We're also gonna have about a cup of uncooked rice. That's a medium or long grain rice. I got some saffron. Look at this. I've had the saffron for a while, but you're just gonna need like a pinch or 2 of saffron. I got a lot here left over, but you can buy them in little packs in stores. Got some shallots, also some green peppers or yellow peppers will work, and of course some olive oil here. We're gonna all put together to make this dish. But the first thing we gotta do is cook our rice. So we're gonna cook our rice, follow the directions on the package. Every water rice ratio is different, so follow that in the package and you're all good. And let's get the rice cooking first. While our rice is cooking, we're gonna cut up our vegetables. First, I like to do peppers this way by cutting in half, right? And then I just take the seeds out and part of the inner part of the core, right? And then I just tap them. And different chefs do them different ways, but I like this way better, just cutting in half. Then I go in quarters. We're gonna do like kind of small to medium dices on here on our pepper. And then we can take some of the rib out. You don't have to use your knife to do that, but you basically take your rib out, and we're gonna go into strips that are about 1/2 inch in width, right? And then what's gonna happen is we're gonna turn them, and we're gonna get our kind of a medium-sized dice on our peppers. So all your peppers you can do that way. You can also use a red pepper too. Got our peppers cut. Now we're gonna have our shallots. We basically peeled our shallots, and all we're gonna do is just slice them nice and thin on our shallots. We're totally good. We don't have to do a fine dice. We're just gonna do a nice thin slice of our shallots, and we're all good. Well, I got a supersized zucchini, but what you're gonna do with your zucchini, if it's small or medium size, I cut my ends off, and then I'm gonna cut right down the middle, right? And then you're gonna cut right down the middle, and then you're gonna cut into half again, right? So we have a half again. I'm just gonna do one side. So we got all the way lengthwise, and then what you're gonna do is do quarter moons of your zucchini. Just all the way down, quarter moons of your zucchini, and you are good. Those are about a little less than of a 1/4 inch thick on our slices. Get all that cut. We have a nice wide skillet or brazier pan or whatever you call it. We're gonna do about 3 tablespoons of olive oil in there. Okay, we're gonna get this olive oil heated up before we start with our peppers and our shallots. We're gonna put in our shallots. This is gonna start sizzling some. We're gonna basically sweat them down. They don't have to caramelize and brown, but we want to get them nice and soft, so that'll take a couple of minutes on a medium heat. As long as they're not burning, very important. Just watch them. We're going to put on our peppers and get those kind of soft for a couple of minutes. Cook them, add them to our shallots. You can put garlic in here too if you want, but we're keeping it simple. And this is on a medium heat. There you go. Season the peppers and the shallots a little bit with some salt and some pepper all around. There we go. Salt and pepper. Keep stirring this on a medium heat for at least 5 minutes to get the peppers nice and soft. Now what's going to happen is, depends on how much zucchini you have, you don't want to overcrowd the pan. I'm going to do this in 2 batches to get my zucchini sauteed and soft. And this is going to take a couple minutes to get our zucchini soft. Our rice is almost done. While I'm doing this first batch of zucchini, I'm going to season again with salt and pepper. There we go, all around. And stir this for a couple minutes until our zucchini kind of gets soft. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way because we're going to add rice to this as well. But right now we're just doing our first batch of cooking down our zucchini with the peppers and the shallots. So we got our first batch and our zucchini's feeling nice and soft. Doesn't take that long. You don't want to overcook it. So I'm going to take this first batch out and I'm going to do my second batch of zucchini. Depends on how much zucchini you have. I had a big zucchini, so I'm going to do a second batch of zucchini. I'm going to add a little more olive oil. So the amount of olive oil can vary. That's another 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And this is my second batch of zucchini. It's okay that there's no shallots in there, but I have to get these sauteed as well so they're nice and soft like our first batch. Our second batch of zucchini is soft. We're going to take that out, right? And we're going to get ready to, we just checked our rice. Our rice is done. We're going to lower our heat on our pan. Here we go. Our rice is done. See that? It's all set. We are now going to get ready to put everything back together. So we're going to put our vegetables in, half at a time. Half of the vegetables in. I have a low heat right now, right? Spread those out. You're going to do half your rice and spread that out. I have a low heat, right? That's good. Next, we're going to sprinkle our first pinch of saffron in there. There's our first generous pinch of saffron. There's one, okay? We have this on a low heat now. You're going to stir that around gently, all around. Okay? You don't want to go crazy, but just gently stir that around. There we go. It's our first layer. That's that. I'm going to slow that down and turn it off for a minute. Alright, here's what's going to happen here. We have a little container, and we have a generous pinch of saffron, our second generous pinch. We're going to add some warm water, about 3 tablespoons of warm water, and let this sit for about 5 to 10 minutes to get some more color out of our saffron. Oh, this is a couple minutes later. Look at that. Nice yellow liquid from our saffron. That was our second pinch, right? So now we're gonna add half of that to our rice. There you go, half of it. Stir that around. We do a little more seasoning in this too as well. So it's gonna be like kind of moist. You don't have a bright yellow color. You're gonna have some yellow color, that's for sure, but not as like super bright. So there you go. Then we're gonna do the rest of our zucchini. We already seasoned the first layer, second layer, okay? And our other rice in there. We're going to season again. Spread that around. Make sure you season it well. There's more, it depends on how much zucchini you have as far as the ratio of rice to vegetable. You know, you want rice in there, but it doesn't need to be half and half. Either or, it's going to be fine. It doesn't have to be exact. Depends on the size of zucchini you have. We have salt and we have pepper all around. Seasoned generously, right? And a little more salt and pepper. And then we're going to go the last of our saffron around there, right? Then what we're going to do is do a nice gentle folding over of our rice, our vegetables, and our saffron. It might spill a little on the sides. You'll be okay. All around the sides, all around. And then generally at this point, the heat is off. The veggies are warm and hot. The rice is already cooked. We're just blending in our saffron into our rice and our vegetables, and that's it. You don't really have to have the heat on at this point. We're going to mix this around and see how our seasoning is. That's the main thing we're looking for. Where's our seasoning at? Do we need to adjust it or not? You're going to have the nice essence or hint of the saffron on it as well while you're going. Make sure you get all the sides. Bring it into the middle, okay? Sides into the middle, just like that. Nice and easy, like a folding technique we're doing as we go around, and it's nice and moist, which is great. So this is a great side dish for meat, or just in the summertime made by itself. You know what you could also add to this is chickpeas. Chickpeas would be great, and that adds a little protein to it as well. Just thought about that. And see where our seasoning is. I'm good. I got enough salt and pepper. I got the saffron essence in there. Every last drop of that saffron's in. As it sits, it's going to get a little more yellow too as well. You don't need to go crazy with the yellow with the saffron. You don't want to overpower it. Saffron's a nice subtle flavor that you can have. Some people like to could add garlic to this as well. You could also add chili flakes for some heat instead of the pepper. That's up to you, however you want to do it. There's our zucchini and rice. your rice gets a little bit wet, which is great because you have the flavor of your saffron in there. And so the moisture came out. Then you're gonna get some more moisture coming out of zucchini. It's there's a lot of water in zucchini, so you could also do this with summer squash. But that's basically it, is your side dish. And it depends on how much, the saffron you use, how fresh it is, how yellow a color you get, but you don't want it to have too bright a color because you want some subtle flavor in there.